So even though Marvel spent 5 hours on a live stream yesterday announcing 27 characters confirmed to be in Avengers Doomsday, it looks like they're not done yet, because from their Instagram post of showing all the different chairs and all the names that are going to be in the movie, Robert Downey Jr. commented saying that's what you call a deep bench of talent. Actually, it's more like a row, but an extra long one. That must be it, right? To which Marvel Studios responded saying there's always room for more, teasing that we're going to get another announcement in the future. I'm going to go over the most notable names that were left off this announcement and how likely it is I think they are in Avengers Doomsday, or if they're going to be saved for Secret Wars, or just cut from both. Starting off with the biggest name that was left off of the live stream announcement is obviously Tom Holland as Spider-Man, so much so that Tom Holland started trending on Twitter after the announcement because people were asking where his name was before we learned that they were actually going to do another announcement. But I honestly only think there's like a 50% chance that he's actually in Doomsday. I think the better chance is that he's actually being saved for Secret Wars. There's a couple reasons for that. First of all is that Spider-Man 4 is taking place in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, and rumors are saying that it's going to be a little bit more of like a street level event. How is he going to be dealing with a street level event if he's also dealing with the events of Doomsday at the same time? Like, think of Infinity War. Some of the notable Avengers weren't in that film, even though it was jam-packed with pretty much all the characters in the MCU. But like, oh, there was no Ant-Man in that movie. There was no Hawkeye in that movie. And then in between Infinity War and Endgame, we got Ant-Man and the Wasp. The post-credit scene tied directly into Infinity War and Endgame, showing the snap happening. And then Paul Rudd was a major player in Endgame. Same thing with Hawkeye, not in Infinity War at all. Then we see at the beginning of Endgame, oh, this is what happened to him where he wasn't in the movie. Now he's a major player here with less heroes. I think there's a chance they're going to do that and let Spider-Man be like the main hero in Secret Wars and not just overshadowed by all the X-Men and stuff in Avengers Doomsday. Jean Grey and Storm are the next ones we got to talk about, because obviously this was kind of shocking that they weren't included when we saw like, oh, Cyclops, Magneto, Professor X are all coming back. Even Nightcrawler was coming back in this movie, but not these two, which was really surprising. But I think it's likely they're announced in the next wave of announcements they're going to do. It really wouldn't make sense to leave these two out of all the other OG X-Men you're bringing back, unless they just like didn't sign on to do the film for some reason. Come on, how are you going to bring back Cyclops and not some variation of Jean Grey? Like I said, we don't know if this is actually from like the main Fox timeline, if this is an alternate dimension, maybe things went differently than how it happened in the Fox timeline. I think they're going to be in the movie. I give it like I said, 80% chance, honestly. Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau also notably left off of the announcement for this movie. Now, again, Captain Marvel wasn't in Infinity War, she was in Endgame. Would they try to do the same thing in this movie? I don't know, but they might. Because of how powerful she is, you kind of have to limit her screen time. This is kind of weird for two reasons. First of all, not mentioning Monica Rambeau when she's in the other reality, literally being taken care of by Kelsey Grammer's Beast that we saw in the post-credit scene in the Marvels, but Kelsey Grammer's Beast got announced for the movie and not her. That really doesn't make any sense. I think it's very likely we see Monica Rambeau in the movie. Again, I'll give her like a 70% chance. Captain Marvel, honestly, more of like a 50% chance for Doomsday. I think, again, saving for Secret Wars, if anything. Here's a side note, I did see people come out and say that, oh, out of the 27 heroes announced for this movie, only 5 of them were women, which is actually kind of insane, because you obviously have all those super crazy accounts out there screaming like, oh, it's the MCU now and all this stuff, and there's literally only 5 women in this movie. Kind of ridiculous. Getting to some of the more magical people in the MCU, obviously Wanda and Doctor Strange were left off of this announcement. Now, Benedict Cumberbatch had previously said he's not in the first one, Avengers Doomsday, and then he came out and corrected his statement and said, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I actually am in that movie. So he's definitely going to be in the second wave of announcements, it seems, which does make sense. He's like one of the new main focuses of the new Avengers, you would think. Although I really don't know if we're ever going to get that Elizabeth Olsen Wanda revival in the MCU. She might truly be gone forever now. It would be a shame. We have Magneto in this movie. They could do some fun stuff, kind of retconning that. But Elizabeth Olsen literally came out a couple days before this announcement, and she's like, yeah, I'm filming 2 different projects in these next couple months when they're doing Doomsday, guys. I'm not in the movie, and I don't think she's lying about this. Again, they could save her for Secret Wars if we're going to go even more cameo and character crazy in that movie. I honestly give it like a 0% chance that she's in Doomsday. I believe her, that she's not lying. I don't think she's coming back in this movie, which is unfortunate because I love the character. I'm going to give Deadpool and Wolverine both like a 60% chance that they're both in this movie. I think if they're going to do one of them, they would both be in it after how things went in Deadpool and Wolverine. And plus, it would be absolutely criminal to bring back so many of the OG X-Men cast, like Professor X, Magneto, all these different people, and not bring back Logan to be with them. I don't think they're going to do that. Deadpool and Wolverine made $1.3 billion. They're probably going to be in this movie in some capacity. 60% honestly might be a little bit low. I'll bump it up to like a 70% chance that they're in the film. I honestly don't think we're going to see any of the new Guardians of the Galaxy in this film. I honestly think outside of like Star-Lord, who we'll get to in a minute, these new Guardians are just never really going to be seen from again. I think the MCU is going to kind of respect, oh, James Gunn moved on to DC. We're not going to touch anything that he built. These characters will just know are out there in the universe and probably never see them again, which is kind of a shame. I know Drax isn't a part of this group, but Dave Bautista literally came out and said he's not playing Drax again since James Gunn's not with Marvel anymore, which you got to respect him being loyal to James Gunn like that. Hopefully he gets a part in the DCU for that. I do think we're really going to see Star-Lord in Avengers Doomsday, though. The mighty Star-Lord will return, as we saw at the end of Guardians Volume 3. Chris Pratt is just like a staple of these new characters, and if you're not going to have the Guardians, you got to at least have him in here. I think there's like an 85% chance he is in Avengers Doomsday. Before I talk about these two above me, hit that like button on the video and let me know who you think is going to pop up in this movie that wasn't revealed in the announcement the other day. We got to talk about the Hulks. There were rumors going around like literally a couple days ago saying that, oh, She-Hulk is going to play a huge role in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, but then none of the Hulks got announced. No Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk, no regular Hulk, no She-Hulk. The leaked concept art is believed to be a part of anything that we're going to see. It would seem like they're going to be a major part. We might even see like a part of like a Planet Hulk in this movie. So I honestly do think we're probably going to see them, but you never know. The right stuff with the Hulks are a little weird. And again, there's a million different characters in this, maybe like a 60% chance. I think it's more likely than not. Again, hit that like button if you didn't the last time I asked, what are you doing? But let's talk about these two Spider-Man. Sadly, I think there's like a 0% chance they show up in Doomsday, but I do think it's very likely that in Secret Wars they do bring them out because they're pulling out all the stops with these OG X-Men and Doomsday. They need another huge surprise in Secret Wars, another huge name. Who else can you even possibly get at this point? I think they're guaranteed to be in Secret Wars and guaranteed not to be in Doomsday. If you want to hear my theories about how the X-Men are going to play a role in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, including the Avengers versus the X-Men possibility, click the video above me right now. It's the first one in the playlist.